This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Vámonos.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm a good time, always do the stupid thing. You're the sunshine, love with all the hippie things. We could dance on the moon with our mood rings, moon with our mood rings, moon with our mood rings. You're the gin, I'm the juice, like we're best friends. We don't have to pretend when the party ends. Anytime that you call, I come run again. Call, I come run again. Call, I come run again. You know we gotta get away, way. This place is driving us insane. Hey. Say hello, take a break, just let it go. Clear your mind, feel the glow of your halo. Say hello to the day, so come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Vámonos. Say hello.
Is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, yes. And let me give you another yes. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. No, like seriously, it only matters who the listeners are. So, how have you been? How are things? How is the method or the methodology of life for you going on right now? Anyways, today is Friday, which makes it Freeform Friday, which is the lovely Friday the 20th. Yeah, Friday the 20th. Just get ready for the next Friday the 13th coming around the corner. Well, it's Friday the 20th of February. Let's go with that. And we are still broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida. It's we are coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, but hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
We are radio. We are sarcasm. We are both combined. Radio big.
Oh, yes. Radio and sarcasm is the way that we do our thing. No doubt about that. So how have you been? How has the last 24 hours or so been? Hopefully good and grand. No, seriously, hopefully good and grand for you. We got a lot of things going on today. There is no doubt, as I do mention that, because it is Freeform Friday. No, seriously, it's Freeform Friday. So if you're not familiar with what that means, is that everything that we did not get to earlier in the week, we get to play catch-up with. And not playing in catch-up or with catch-up, but we get to play catch-up in regards to what the hell's going on. So if you're good with it, I'm good with it. And we can start talking right away about what the hell's going on inside of the world of the multiverse. That's for sure. So all you have to do is hang out here. And we're going to cover a plethora of stuff. If you want to interact with the show, it's easy to do so. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. Once you get there, audio, video, and text messaging are the options that you'll get. And then we start going through the plethora of things. And that's it. Video text messaging, audio text messaging, all that kind of fun stuff. Did I say audio text messaging? That makes no sense. Audio messaging, video messaging, and text messaging. Apparently, I'm still not awake. Shouldn't probably be behind the wheel if you're still not awake. Maybe that's the thing to talk about here. So if you're good, let's do this. We bring in some friends here from Feature Story News. They start telling us about what the hell is going on inside of the world, because that's just kind of what we do. But we kind of also cover everything that's going on inside of the world, though. So there you go. Oh, somebody said I was supposed to play this. Oops, let's do that.
Weekend mode activated. Welcome to Friday.
Really? Weekend mode activated? I don't know. I'm not very excited about weekend mode either. So I don't know. Something to think about. So let's do this because it is Freeform Friday and we're going to need to cover everything that went on this week because that's just kind of what we do. That's the kind of
people
that we are. So let's go ahead and give you the weekend review. We'll do that now. Then we'll come back, talk about some feature story news stuff, and go from there. So if you're good, I'm good. Let's do it.
Former Prince Andrew was arrested by British police early this morning in Norfolk in the east of England. The arrest today is on suspicion that he abused his position while serving as a trade envoy for the UK government. That is a crime that can carry up to life in prison.
Actor Shia LaBeouf, after his arrest in New Orleans during Mardi Gras, police say the 39-year-old actor was arrested early Tuesday after an altercation outside a business in the French Quarter. He's now facing 2 counts of simple battery.
More than 300,000 acres are still burning this morning across Oklahoma alone. The largest area the firefighters are still trying to contain is Ranger Road Fire. More than 283,000 acres in that fire alone, only 15% contained.
An ultimatum to Iran. President Trump warning it has a maximum of 15 days to make a nuclear deal or really bad things will happen.
We're either going to get a deal or it's going to be unfortunate for them.
Actor Eric Dane, who captured hearts on the hit television show Grey's Anatomy, has passed away.
Eric Dane was just 53 years old.
Eric Dane's death comes nearly a year after announcing his ALS diagnosis.
Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg arriving at a Los Angeles courthouse today to a barrage of cameras and grieving parents from around the country.
I want accountability.
Parents who say the social media empire Zuckerberg built is purposely addictive and dangerous for kids.
Michaela Schifrin, the greatest slalom skier of all time, golden in her marquee event this morning. Schifrin way ahead of the competition, finishing more than a second and a half ahead of the rest of the field. Her first Olympic slalom gold in 12 years. This ends a huge drought for her.
Okay, so that's the weekend review in case that you did not know what exactly was going on. A lot of stuff happened this week, of course. So as we're going to do this, we're going to play catch up with everything that's going on because that's just kind of what we do. So don't worry about this. We're going to talk a little bit about this. We're going to talk about a little bit about that. And we're going to give it to you all in a flash capacity of what the hell is going on. So let's start off with some feature story news, because I think that that's going to be the better angle to go with. And then we'll go from there. So if you're good with that, I'm good with that. We can get into the news right now because I'm going to tell you they're over there waiting, just waiting to go for it. So we'll do that right now. So let's go.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in the UK, I'm John Beaver. Police are continuing searches at Andrew Mountbatten Windsor's former home after he was released from custody. King Charles's brother was arrested on Thursday on suspicion of misconduct in public office. He's been released under investigation over allegations he shared information with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein when Andrew was a UK trade envoy. He's always denied wrongdoing. Crime journalist Andy Hughes says the alleged offence is difficult for police to investigate.
It's one of the hardest offences to prove in a court of law. And there's many boxes to be ticked. The first one is, were they in public office? Well, we know he was because he was the UK trade envoy. That's where it stops being straightforward. They then ask, did they willfully neglect to perform their duty? Now, it's the word willfully that complicates things, certainly in a court of law, because that could be open to interpretations. And if they did they willfully neglect to such a degree as to amount to an abuse of the public's trust?
It's being reported that European intelligence chiefs believe Russia isn't interested in a quick resolution to the war in Ukraine. Another round of peace talks took place earlier this week, and Ukraine's president has accused Moscow of delaying tactics. William Denslow reports from Kyiv.
Reuters reports that 4 European spy agencies believe Russia is using negotiations to push for sanctions relief and business deals. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has also accused Russia of delay tactics, urging allies to increase the economic pressure on the Kremlin. Moscow says it's committed to the peace process and has consistently rejected European assessments of its intentions. Kyiv, meanwhile, says the US is pushing for a peace agreement to be in place by June. Washington maintains that meaningful progress has been made over the 3 rounds of trilateral talks so far this year. William Denslow, Kyiv.
An International Monetary Fund delegation will visit Pakistan next week to review economic progress under the global lender's $7 billion programme. Hira Mustafa reports from Islamabad.
According to officials, the talks will focus on a third review of Pakistan's $7 billion loan program. The IMF delegation will arrive in Islamabad on February 25th. IMF Communications Director Julie Kozak says Pakistan has already made measurable economic progress under the program. She adds that discussions will also cover governance and corruption, which remain important areas of focus. The review is crucial as it will determine eligibility for future disbursements. Experts expect the review to pass while noting that discussions on fiscal discipline and energy policy could be challenging.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Looking in more detail today at the Board of Peace. President Trump, who chairs it, hosted world leaders at the White House on Thursday who have signed up to a body that US officials indicate is designed to fill gaps on the world stage where the United Nations has not been able to resolve conflicts. But the board itself was authorized by the United Nations only to pursue the disarming of Hamas in Gaza and to oversee the ceasefire there.
How he can stand there this morning and talk about his commitment to peace while also building up the forces in the Middle East, it's hard to reconcile that.
Jeffrey Feltman is a senior fellow at the UN Foundation focusing on the UN's peace and security work worldwide.
I hope that it succeeds in providing some kind of acceptable life for the Palestinians in Gaza. I would hope it would succeed in eventually preparing the way for that two-state solution that is mentioned in the Security Council resolution, but in the vaguest terms about Palestinian statehood. I don't want it to replace the international legitimacy that Security Council authorized bodies would have. I don't want to see one person being able to decide what's appropriate for peace globally.
President Trump on Thursday said the US will provide $10 billion in startup funding to the Board of Peace, although where that money is coming from is unclear. It has not been approved by Congress. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, police are continuing searches at Andrew Mountbatten Windsor's former home after he was released from custody. King Charles's brother was arrested on Thursday on suspicion of misconduct in public office. It's been reported that European intelligence chiefs believe Russia isn't interested in a quick resolution to the war in Ukraine. And an International Monetary Fund delegation will visit Pakistan next week to review economic progress under the global lender's $7 billion programme. That's the latest feature story news. John Beaver reporting.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
You ever hit the wall, burnout, stressed, or just feeling that everything is piling up and thought, yeah, I probably need to talk to someone? The problem is finding the therapist who actually takes your insurance feels impossible at times. That's where Rula comes in. Rula is a healthcare company that makes mental health care easy to access and actually affordable. They partner with over 100 insurance plans, so the average copay is about $15 a session, sometimes even less. With Rula, you get matched with the right therapist for you, not just whoever's available. Their network has over 15,000 licensed professionals, and you can book an appointment as soon as tomorrow. No wait list, no frustrations, just therapy that works with your schedule and your insurance. Thousands of people are already using Rula to get affordable, high-quality therapy that actually covered by insurance. Visit Rula.com/safetyfm to get started. After you sign up, you'll be asked how you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know that we sent you there. That's RULA.com/safetyfm. You deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget. Go to Rula.com RULA.com/safetyfm right now to get started. That's RULA.com/safetyfm, because you deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget.
This isn't a safety manual. It's a transmission. Jay Allen, PhD, host of the Rated R Safety Show and founder of Safety FM, has spent years pulling back the curtain on the systems we work in and the ones we don't talk about. What started as a fatal crash on the 405 became a search for truth through behavior-based safety, human and organizational performance, simulation theory, and everything in between. Safety, in my opinion, is raw, reflective, and real. From burnout to breakthroughs, from the matrix to the moment someone says, "This doesn't feel right." This book doesn't give you answers. It hands you the signal. Safety, in my opinion. Available now, wherever books and audiobooks are found.
Our frequency signal is so strong, it'll huff and puff and blow your house in. It'll blow your speakers out, brah.
Okay, so there you go. Currently 16 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Freeform Friday. So it's time to start covering a little bit of everything that is going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that's kind of what we do around here. So don't worry about that, because why would we do anything else? No, like seriously, that's not a joke. So should we talk about this? I think we should talk about it because it's there to talk about. So after more than 6 decades of battling grime, Mr. Clean says that he's hanging up the white t-shirt. In a February 18th announcement, the bald brownie cleaning icon declared that he's stepping away from scrubbing duties to pursue new hobbies. First introduced back in 1958 by Procter & Gamble, Mr. Clean, whose actual first name was Veritable, quickly became a gold standard for sparkle. The famous jingle followed the 1959 shine hasn't stopped since. The brand insists that this is more of a symbolic retirement. Products aren't going anywhere. The packaging stays, the name stays, the muscles probably stay. More details are promised on March the 4th. So this smells like a lot of marketing stunt with lemon scent. Fans reacted to someone just canceled their childhood. Brands like Instacart and Old Spice chimed in on wish him well as well. To wish him well as well. I know, that's very confusing. Some begged him to reconsider. Others wondered what a retired cleaning legend even does. Start making messes for fun. I mean, it's kind of an interesting one. 60 plus years of cleaning, not one sick day. Meanwhile, I call out if my drink gets lukewarm. So here's the vintage commercial just in case.
Meet Mr. Clean, Procter & Gamble's new all-purpose liquid cleaner.
Mr. Clean gets rid of dirt and grime and grease in just a minute.
Mr. Clean will clean your whole house and everything that's in it.
Floors, doors, walls, halls, white sidewall tires, and old golf balls.
Sinks, stoves, bathtubs he'll do. He'll even help clean laundry too.
Hey, listen, I don't know if you're retiring a character that you had for your stuff. Good for you. I mean, I don't know. A lot of stuff going on there. So I'm just going to put it to you this way. Online, I have a whole poem of where people are losing it in regards of this. Like, seriously, it's okay. I sometimes think that it's difficult for people to deal with change. So let's talk about this. The cleaning product is still going to be available. The character of the cleaning product might not be there, at least the format that you recognize nowadays. But man, it gets strange. And it doesn't get strange like every once in a while. It gets strange kind of quick in regards to the information that's going on. It's just the way that it comes across sometimes.
More sarcasm than a Mortal Kombat beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
Oh, sarcasm is just the way that it goes from time to time. At least is the way that it seems. So if you're good, I'm good. We can always talk a little bit about this, a little bit about that, and all that kind of fun stuff. So let's get into some serious biz, because that is some stuff to talk about. And then I got some other shit that you're probably going to be like, what the hell just happened here? So according to reports, Prince Andrew was arrested on his 66th birthday following the Wood police raid at the Wood Farm on the Sandringham Estate. Thames Valley Police confirmed that the arrest a man in his 60s in Norfolk on suspicion of misconduct in public office. Officers executed searches at the address in Norfolk, believed to be Wood Farm, as well as the property in Berkshire, like Royal Lodge in Windsor, where Andrew previously lived, is what it's sounding like here. According to the reports, plainclothes officers arrived in multiple unmarked vehicles early in the morning, and a convoy linked to Andrews was seen leaving the estate shortly thereafter. Detectives have been reviewing his conduct during his times as the UK trade envoy, or envoy, depending on how you want to look at it. The scrutiny reportedly following the emails reference of the so-called Epstein files that suggest that he shared confidential information related to official visits and potential investment discussions. Police say the investigation is ongoing and that the suspect remains in custody. Authorities have not disclosed where he is being held. Take a listen to this.
I think it's a shame. I think it's very sad. I think it's so bad for the royal family. It's a very, very sad. To me, it's a very sad thing. When I see that, it's a very sad thing to see it, and to see what's going on with his brother, who's obviously coming to our country very soon, and he's a fantastic man, the king. So I think it's a very sad thing.
Okay, it's a very sad thing. What exactly is a sad thing? I'm slightly confused. That seemed slightly out of context. Yeah, it's a very sad thing. What exactly are you saying is the sad part? Maybe that's what I need to understand. So let's stick with President Trump for a moment. President Trump says that Barack Obama crossed the line after joking about aliens on a podcast. Here's what happened on January the 14th. Podcast with Brian Tyler Cohen. Obama was asked straight up if extraterrestrials are real. He quipped that they are, but said that he hadn't seen them. And as far as he knew, they weren't hanging out in Area 51. The clip blew up online. Conspiracy corners went wild, and Obama quickly clarified the next day. He said that he saw no evidence during his presidency that the aliens had contacted Earth. His actual point, the universe is enormous, so statistically, life somewhere else, it seems possible. Enter President Trump speaking on Fox. Peter Dosey aboard Air Force One en route to Georgia. The president said Obama made a big mistake. Yeah, I made a big mistake, and claimed that he shared classified information. Trump added that he doesn't know whether aliens are real, but insisted that Obama wasn't supposed to be talking about that. Take a listen.
Barack Obama said that aliens are real. Have you seen any evidence of non-human visitors to Earth?
Well, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. You know?
So aliens are real?
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. He made a big mistake. He took it out of classified information. No, I don't have an opinion on it. I never talk about it. A lot of people do. A lot of people believe it.
Okay, so I want you to keep that sentiment for a moment as we are talking, okay? So you got that. You heard what he said, and some stuff there. So let me see if I can get this over here to the screener. I'm going to shrink this down over here so we can take a look at it together. So yesterday it was. Yesterday was the 19th, around 6:13 p.m. Eastern time. If for those playing along at home, President Trump wrote the following on one of the social media platforms. Based on tremendous interest shown, I will be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomenon, and unidentified flying objects, and all other information connected to these highly complex but extremely interesting and important matters. God bless America. So, that was yesterday, 6:13 p.m., and so depending on when you're listening to this, this is slightly over, just a tad over 12 hours ago that this was released and brought up. So what do you think here? I told you we would be talking a little bit about everything, but I'm pretty sure that when you start thinking about stuff that we were going to talk about, that sure as shit was not part of it. So what do you think here? You know, you've seen the flying phenomenon stuff video-wise for a while in regards of some of the stuff that was happening, and you kind of saw some of the videos, older videos. Where do you think we're leading here? I mean, and listen, I'm not going to sit here and say, let's talk conspiracy theories, because we ain't going to get anywhere by talking about this, but what do you think for a moment? What do you think from the aspect of will we be further down the pipe when it's all said and done this week, next week, the week after? I mean, people are going to want to know more and more about this stuff. You already know that. It's going to get interesting.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so take a listen to this. Australian reporter Danica Mason apologized after appearing to slur her words during a live broadcast while covering the 2026 Winter Olympics for the Channel 9 Today show. During the segment, Mason drifted off topic, talking about coffee prices and randomly referencing iguanas, prompting viewers to question whether she'd been drinking. Her studio host blamed the cold weather, but Mason later admitted that she had consumed alcohol before going on air and said she totally misjudged its effects, adding that altitude, cold temperatures, and not eating entirely made this worse. The next day, she issued a live on-air apology and took full responsibility and said that that wasn't professional standards. She told herself to, or holds herself to. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a weird one. Nothing says Winter Olympics like freestyle broadcasting. She trained for the snow coverage, not the slow coverage. That wasn't slurring. It was extreme sports commentary. Winter Games, summer cocktail energy. And somewhere an iguana is wondering how they got dragged into it. Here's the clip.
Like, literally, the price of coffee over here is actually fine. It's more the price of coffee in the US that we are going to have to get used to. I'm not sure about the iguanas. Where are we going with that one? But anyway, let's get into today's spot, because there is plenty happening back home. We're going to start off with some actual Brisbane Broncos gearing from the their trip to the US.
So there you go. Some stuff going on right there in regards to it. I mean, listen, if that's the worst thing that happens, we're still not having a bad day. Let's keep it realistic here for a moment, because I think that that's important. Okay, so the lady drank. She was a little bit tipsy, got on the air. Couple of things that I want to bring up right away, just for your context. Normally, when you're doing stuff like that, not the drinking part, but when you're going around and you're definitely broadcasting from somewhere else, you normally have a producer with you, okay? You normally have a camera person with you. And these people are there to assist with the whole process from behind the scenes. And then you have a producer that you're interacting with at the news studio. So you're telling me that between the producer that was out in the field with her, then the actual on-air producer that was there, no one knew what was going on? Seems kind of strange if you kind of think about that for a moment. Okay, so let's talk about a couple of things here, because I want to do this because, it's something important to talk about. But if you listen to the Weekend Review, there was a portion in there that happened last night, and we have not been able to talk about it today, but we're going to talk about it right now. Eric Danes, best known for playing Dr. Mark McSteamy Sloan on Grey's Anatomy, has died at 53. Dane passed away yesterday following a 10-month public battle with ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. In a statement, his family said he died surrounded by loved ones, including his wife and daughters, Billy and Georgia. They described him as a devoted father and said that he became a passionate advocate for ALS awareness and research after his diagnosis. Dane endured tragedy early in his life when his father died from a gunshot wound when he was at the age of 7. He later said that he, becoming a parent himself, deepened his understanding of the loss. Dane discovered acting almost by accident after a cast in high school for a production of All My Sons. After moving to Los Angeles with little money, he struggled early on, landing guest spots on series such as Saved by the Bell, The Wonder Years, Roseanne, and Married with Children. He later appeared in Charmed before breaking out as a charismatic surgeon on Grey's Anatomy, a role made him a household name. Take a listen to this. This is from Grey's Anatomy.
You're Derek's lusty intern, right? Heard about you all the way back in New York. You're famous.
Well, I heard about you all the way here in Seattle, so I guess we have a lot in common.
So there you go. There is one. Let's go with 2.
How did you let him catch you? He's sneaky as hell, Mike.
Your wife and I were having a debate. She seems to have an inflated impression of you.
Mike. Hey, babe.
Nevertheless, this is the end of the road. One of them is about to die. You choose.
Okay, so there you go. Definitely a talented actor. Terrible loss to hear about when it's all said and done. Let's not joke around about that. That is for sure. Let's continue talking about some other things that are going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that's what we do. Fresh off of winning a gold in the women's women's Olympic competition, Sheriff joined today live from Milan to reflect on her victory and actually turned morning TV into cable for about a count of 3 seconds while describing deeply emotional moment at the top of the mountain. She shared how her nerves had overwhelmed her before the run. She lay down in the hospitality tent, tried to nap, and found herself thinking about her late father, Jeff Shrinkin, who died suddenly in 2020. She described it as part of a spiritual journey, talking to him even without hearing a response. And then the emotions boiled over mid-sentence. Sharon dropped the F-bomb, followed immediately by another expletive. She slapped her hand over her mouth and apologized on the spot. Back in the studio, host Hoda, Craig, and Carson Daly scrambled to smooth it over. Melvin reassured her that the joke that he'd cover any fine, and Daly pivoted quickly in celebration plans. Take a listen.
I don't know. I took a moment and I just said,
That's okay. That's all right.
I'm so sorry.
We know what you meant. We know what you meant. You're one goal. From the heart. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
We'll take the fine.
Yeah. It was worth it. I was thinking it.
Oh my God. No, that's so bad.
No.
You're
not alone. No.
Okay, so, I guess the morning TV was getting pretty interesting yesterday when it was all said and done. So there you go. Anyway, so this is Freeform Friday. That's the versionality of what we do today. But listen, it is 32 minutes past the top of the hour. You would normally be getting some kind of a main story, but not today. Not on Freeform Friday.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in the UK, I'm John Beaver. Police are continuing searches at Andrew Mountbatten Windsor's former home after he was released from custody. King Charles's brother was arrested on Thursday on suspicion of misconduct in public office. He's been released under investigation over allegations he shared information with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein when Andrew was a UK trade envoy. He's always denied wrongdoing. Crime journalist Andy Hughes says the alleged offence is difficult for police to investigate.
It's one of the hardest offences to prove in a court of law. And there's many boxes to be ticked. The first one is, were they in public office? Well, we know he was because he was the UK trade envoy. That's where it stops being straightforward. They then ask, did they willfully neglect to perform their duty? Now, it's the word willfully that complicates things, certainly in a court of law, because that could be open to interpretations. And if they did they willfully neglect to such a degree as to amount to an abuse of the public's trust?
It's being reported that European intelligence chiefs believe Russia isn't interested in a quick resolution to the war in Ukraine. Another round of peace talks took place earlier this week, and Ukraine's president has accused Moscow of delaying tactics. William Denslow reports from Kyiv.
Reuters reports that 4 European spy agencies believe Russia is using negotiations to push for sanctions relief and business deals. Ukraine's President, Volodymyr Zelensky, has also accused Russia of delay tactics, urging allies to increase the economic pressure on the Kremlin. Moscow says it's committed to the peace process and has consistently rejected European assessments of its intentions. Kyiv, meanwhile, says the US is pushing for a peace agreement to be in place by June. Washington maintains that meaningful progress has been made over the 3 rounds of trilateral talks so far this year. William Denslow, Kyiv.
An International Monetary Fund delegation will visit Pakistan next week to review economic progress under the global lender's $7 billion programme. Hira Mustafa reports from Islamabad.
According to officials, the talks will focus on a third review of Pakistan's $7 billion loan program. The IMF delegation will arrive in Islamabad on February 25th. IMF Communications Director Julie Kozak says Pakistan has already made measurable economic progress under the program. She adds that discussions will also cover governance and corruption, which remain important areas of focus. The review is crucial as it will determine eligibility for future disbursements. Experts expect the review to pass while noting that discussions on fiscal discipline and energy policy could be challenging.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Looking in more detail today at the Board of Peace. President Trump, who chairs it, hosted world leaders at the White House on Thursday who have signed up to a body that US officials indicate is designed to fill gaps on the world stage where the United Nations has not been able to resolve conflicts. But the board itself was authorized by the United Nations only to pursue the disarming of Hamas in Gaza and to oversee the ceasefire there.
How he can stand there this morning and talk about his commitment to peace while also building up the forces in the Middle East, it's hard to reconcile that.
Jeffrey Feltman is a senior fellow at the UN Foundation focusing on the UN's peace and security work worldwide.
I hope that it succeeds in providing some kind of acceptable life for the Palestinians in Gaza. I would hope it would succeed in eventually preparing the way for that two-state solution that is mentioned in the Security Council resolution, but in the vaguest terms about Palestinian statehood. I don't want it to replace the international legitimacy that Security Council authorized bodies would have. I don't want to see one person being able to decide what's appropriate for peace globally.
President Trump on Thursday said the US will provide $10 billion in startup funding to the Board of Peace, although where that money is coming from is unclear. It has not been approved by Congress. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, police are continuing searches at Andrew Mountbatten Windsor's former home after he was released from custody. King Charles's brother was arrested on Thursday on suspicion of misconduct in public office. It's been reported that European intelligence chiefs believe Russia isn't interested in a quick resolution to the war in Ukraine. And an International Monetary Fund delegation will visit Pakistan next week to review economic progress under the global lender's $7 billion programme. That's the latest feature story news. John Beaver reporting.
More sarcasm than a Mortal Kombat beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service, anything from inspecting the loss site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com for more information. lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all 3 books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp-speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobilemobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, well, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobilemobile.io. That's mobilemobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
Hello. Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
Break the rules, I won't let you go solo. Stay alone to your life, so come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Vámonos. Let's go. Vámonos. Let's go. You're the green, I'm the scene, and we're showing out. We can rally, we can riot now without a doubt. We don't have to be 3 sheets to the wind, 3 sheets to the wind, 3 sheets to the wind.
Okay, here we are. 30 minutes past the top of the hour. No, just kidding. It's 44 minutes past the top of the hour. 44 minutes and 27 seconds to be exact, but who's counting that? Yeah, we are still broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida. This right here that you're taking a listen to, this is Favy. Songs readily available. It's called Vámonos. Readily available on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, and Pandora. Yeah, that's kind of where we hang right there. Vámonos. We would like to thank Favy for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. Much appreciated, no doubt about that. Okay, so let's get into some other things that are going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that's kind of what we do. And let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Our Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help, and we want you to know that people have been where you are now and that healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, you'll see all kinds of information related to addiction, depression, eating disorders, anxiety, self-injury, suicide, and trauma, just to name a few. That's TWLOHA.com, To Write Love on Her Arms. No doubt about that as we are talking. Take a look around, see what exactly happens, and we'll go from there. That's TWLOHA.com, To Write Love on Her Arms. I'm going to tell you, you go there, it can change a lot of things for you. I'm not saying that jokingly. I'm being dead serious as it's mentioned. TWLOHA.com, To Write Love on Her Arms. Okay, so let's talk about some things that are going on inside of the world of the multiverse. So we've been talking all week about a couple of different things. Number one, the Conklin workshop that's taking place in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Yes, the Conklin workshop taking place in Santa Fe, New Mexico. What will end up taking place there is we're going to talk about some things that are going on inside of looking at an incident in a workshop style. We will take a look at a case that occurred with Redonda Voigt because she was there, firsthand experience. We'll cover the information. It's going to be hosted by Ann Learin, and we'll be looking at it through some of the actual tools that have been presented by Brent Sutton. With that being said, of course, Todd Conklin will be there because it is his workshop. We'll be there probably more than likely talking about myself in some kind of broadcasting capacity, because that's kind of what I do when I go to these things. So that's going on in Santa Fe, New Mexico, March the 31st through April the 1st. Would love to see you there. All you have to do is go to safetyfm.com and click on the section that says Live Events. That is going on in March through April the 1st. March 31st, April the 1st, Santa Fe, New Mexico. Would love to see you there. And then this week we've been talking about Save the Date. Well, that's about to change here over the next little bit with what I'm going to tell you. Here's what we got going on. Okay, July the 13th, Orlando, Florida. Finally, we can talk about it. We're going to be having a reality shift symposium. Would love to see you there. Not a joke as I say this. This is all serious business, because that's how I work, in some serious business mode. So that right there, reality shift, a symposium, an observational symposium. It's going to be hosted by yours truly here, but we're going to have Todd Conklin there, who will be speaking a little bit about human and organizational performance. We'll have Nick Weatherly there talking about behavior-based safety. Yep, you're following along so far. And I will be there talking about Signal Trilogy. Yeah, this is going to be definitely a one-day event occurring in Orlando. If you're taking a look at the screen arena right there, there is a QR code for you to actually give a little scan to. Once you scan that code, it's going to take you to the page where the information of the stuff that's going on, or you can go to safetyfm.com and click on live events. Once you get there, boom, I'm going to tell you everything that's going on, going down, and all that kind of fun stuff you can take a look at. So this is a one-day event in Orlando. If you look at it, it is Monday, July the 13th of 2026. We'll hang out. We'll talk about some things that are going on inside of the multiverse, and we'll be taking a look at the different lenses that are available for you. So would love to see you there. Would definitely love for you to be part of the hangout, and it will definitely be a unique experience, to say the least. Yeah, just go to the QR code or go to safetyfm.com under live events. So there you go. So finally was able to talk about it. So Todd Conklin, Nick Weatherly, and yours truly all there. Orlando, Florida, July the 13th, 2026. Yeah. It's gonna definitely be an experience, and we're gonna be moving this out of the traditional ballroom at a hotel, and we're going to go in full-blown movie theater mode. Yep. So be ready for an experience. No doubt about that. Anyways, with that being said, I do have my friend John Small hanging out in the weeds over here, waiting to talk to you about the Motivation Minute, because, man, can that guy motivate some people? No doubt there.
Courtesy of JaceCaseMedical.com. Today's quote was submitted by Zach. Jean de la Bruerie said, "Out of difficulties grow miracles." I agree with this. I've really not gone into my darkest hour here on this program. Suffice to say, it would take more than a minute, and it wouldn't feel very motivational. But I will tell you that I learned so many things in that dark valley. When you're on top of the world, you have a great view, and you can see it all. Everyone wants to be with people on the top, but when you slide down into that dark valley, it can be a lonely place. You find out that some of your friends are different than other friends. You might even discover that some people are not very good friends at all. But if you make some good friends while you're there in the valley, and you climb to the top together, you'll discover an unbreakable bond. These people are your people. They knew you at your worst, and they still loved you. Hold on to these people. The Motivation Minute. This has been the Motivation Minute. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
Rescue crews in the Sierra Nevada are pushing through fierce winds and whiteout snow as they search for missing skiers after a powerful avalanche near Lake Tahoe on Tuesday.
Authorities say a group of about 15 backcountry skiers was caught on the remote slopes near Castle Peak, and at least 9 people remain unaccounted for. Helicopters, dog teams, and ground crews are working in blizzard conditions with gusts near 40 miles per hour. Liam White reporting.
U.S., Russian, and Ukrainian officials wrapped up another tense round of talks this week, with negotiators reporting progress but no breakthrough.
Diplomats met in Geneva as part of a series of meetings aimed at reducing frontline tensions and outlining steps toward a possible ceasefire. A U.S. special envoy said the sides agreed on guiding principles for further negotiations and plan to keep talking in the coming days. Lawrence Keller reporting.
Germany's president is in the Middle East this week, meeting with Jordan's King Abdullah.
President Frank-Walter Steinmeier's visit includes talks on regional security, the war in Gaza, and the strain from ongoing refugee flows. Jordan plays a key role as a US-aligned monarchy, bordering several conflict zones and hosting large numbers of displaced people. Both leaders used the meeting to reaffirm cooperation on humanitarian aid. Benjamin Wright, reporting.
This is the latest news headlines.
Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg is set to take the stand in a closely watched social media addiction trial.
The case centers on a young woman who says years of heavy use as a child left her struggling with anxiety, depression, and compulsive scrolling. Lawyers argue Meta and YouTube built features to keep users engaged while downplaying known risks to teens. The trial could shape how tech companies handle algorithms. Kyle Norris reporting.
In Washington, lawmakers are turning up the heat on Jeffrey Epstein's one-time inner circle.
Wexner, the retail magnate and former Epstein ally, appeared before a House committee to say he was duped by a world-class con man. Lawmakers questioned him on financial ties, property transfers, and what he knew about alleged abuse at Epstein's estates. Jessica Oakley reporting.
A tense security scare on Capitol Hill ended with one man in custody after police say he ran toward the complex in a tactical vest and shotgun.
U.S. Capitol Police said officers confronted the suspect outside the grounds and quickly detained him without shots fired. Investigators reported no additional suspects and said there is no ongoing threat to lawmakers or staff. The incident prompted brief lockdown precautions in the area. Kevin Sanders reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
Radio Big. Streaming 24/7 at radiobig.fm.
Oh, yes. We are definitely reporting everything that is going on inside of the multiverse that I can get my hands on. That is for sure. Let's talk about some things that happened back on this date, if I may. Back in 1944, Batman and Robin comic strip premieres in the newspaper. In 1974, Cher files for separation of her husband, Sonny Bono. And also in 1992, Ross Perot says that he'll run for president on The Larry King Show. All of those things happened back on this date. If you're looking for some celebrity birthdays going on today, Phil Esposito turns 84, Charles Barkley turns 63, Cindy Crawford turns 60, Andrew Shue turns 59, Miles Teller turns 39, and Rihanna, she turns 38 today. So there you go. That's some birthdays that are going on. If you hear, let's talk about some things that you ought to know. Let's see. NASCAR, the Auto Trader 400 airs Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox. Also, tonight's Mega Million jackpot is for $416 million. Tomorrow's Powerball jackpot is for $190 million. The 2026 Winter Olympics closing ceremony is on Sunday. Coverage begins at 2:30 p.m. on NBC, Peacock, and NBCOlympics.com. And during the inaugural meeting of the newly formed Board of Peace in Washington, Donald Trump announced that the United States will allocate $10 billion in aid to Gaza. The president didn't specify where the funding would be coming from or whether Congress has to approve it. He also said that other nations could secure a permanent seat on the board by contributing $1 billion towards rebuilding efforts in Gaza. Hold on, you could secure a seat on the board? Okay, so let's talk about this real quick. Today is Cherry Pie Day. Today is National Cherry Pie Day. According to the American Pie Council, the pie came to America with the first English settlers. The early colonists cooked their pies in a long, narrow pan, calling it coffins, like a crust in England. As Roman ties, the early American pie crust often were not eaten, but just designed to hold the filling during the baking. And it was during the American Revolution that the term crust was used instead of coffin. Yep, there you go. So there you go. Some things to think about if you are interested, of course, in doing some other strange things. No doubt about that. Anyways, that's going to sum up our time together at the top of the hour. I will be going over to radiobig.fm if you want to come out and hang out with me for the next couple hours or so. I will be talking about the world of music and entertainment. If you don't want to go over there, that's perfectly fine. You can hang out with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he talks about the world of safety consulting. Not a joke as I'm saying that. Serious business. So that's what he'll do. He'll talk about the world of safety consulting. We will be talking about the world of music and entertainment if you go to radiobig.fm. So thanks for hanging out with me on this lovely Friday. If I can leave you with some words of wisdom, here you go. Difficult roads often lead to beautiful destinations. And if you need some advice for today, turn chip dishes into planter saucers. Think about that. They can change the way that you look at everything when it's all said and done. So there you go. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios, as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.
We don't have to pretend when the party ends. Anytime that you call, like I'm running again, call like I'm running again, call like I'm running again. You know we gotta get away, way. This place is driving us insane. Say hello, take a break, just let it go. Clear your mind, feel the glow of your halo. Say hello to the day, so come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Vamonos. Say hello, we got time, we can find our flow. Break the rules, I won't let you go solo. Say hello to your life, so come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Vamonos. Let's go. Vamonos. Let's go. You're the green, I'm the scene, and we're showing out. We can rally, we can riot now without a doubt. We don't have to be three sheets to the wind.